Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Reality Hour. I'm Adam Samuel. Today, Dancing for the Stars. It's not just any night, though. It's Grease night. And joining me for this discussion is my amazing co-host, Grace. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay, thank you. I just got my flu shot right before we came on, so not too sore yet. The guy actually did a really good job, but I'm a little sore about this week because I really don't like Grease.
I got to be honest. Going into this week, I was right there with you. I was like, this is not going to be good. I think this was the best episode of the season. Not just the best, barring the tragedy that was the elimination, which I'm sure we will be getting to, I thought this was pretty stellar, Grace.
There were a lot of good performances, and the covers were not as horrible as they usually are.
I like the covers. I don't care.
Oh, I know. The opening number, though, it was nice to see opening numbers back.
Yeah, it was fun. Really, it was like high energy, and I found it interesting that the show kind of followed the songs of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So like it kind of had that flow where it was like kind of a bit of a story.
For Disney night. There was one year for Disney night where they did it like in chronological order. So they started with Steamboat Willie, and then they ended with Remember Me, because at that point Coco was the unreleased movie. That was the only other time I think they did that.
But did you think this was the best episode of the season?
We did see some really good performances. We had our first perfect score.
Yes.
The elimination was enough to ruin the whole episode, but
look, I gotta be honest. I have in this situation, I don't even know how to kind of phrase what I'm trying to say. So the bottom two, they're the people who face the judges, but are they the ones who actually got the lowest number of votes?
Supposedly.
Because hypothetically, wouldn't there be like a potential loophole where you say like the show has to eliminate the person who got the lowest votes? So if you have like the bottom, you call them the bottom two, but the judges, it's kind of all rigged to eliminate the person who got the lowest votes anyway. So you know what I mean? So it's kind of a bit of a for show bit. Because I was just thinking that because what a way to not just send out Mel C, but to absolutely bury Olivia. Because now she is considered the one who robbed the spot, ironically, which can kind of just continue the narrative.
Did you see the tweets that she got? Like all the tweets I saw?
But the thing is, like, I was shocked that she was in the bottom two. I thought she was doing good. Like, I get the criticism. I don't think she's long for this competition, especially now. What I was saying before is probably just like me going conspiracy, but I don't think she's long for the game at this point. So
I don't either.
Just the story, the picture of it, of how it was played was just like way to bury both of them. One you're kicking out, and the other is now royally screwed because there's going to be blowback. There's going to be more attention on, the controversy coming in. I think she is in trouble.
Depends on who she's in the bottom two against. I think if it's her and either Iman or Kenya or possibly The Miz, they'll send the other one home. But if it's her and Amanda, they had better send Olivia home.
Could you just set the stage for me? Because I'm just confused. Like, how did we get here? Like, what is your kind of thought process of that? How can you rationalize this for me a little bit? Because I'm shocked it wasn't The Miz, Iman, like some of the more obvious choices going into the week.
Well, Iman and The Miz pulled out their wives. That wins you votes. Always. Olivia is getting a lot of criticism, and she doesn't appeal to the older fan base. She was also first and in a very easy spot to be forgettable. Melanie C, I saw a lot of tweets that people were finding her forgettable as well.
She was kind of a little bit.
Late. Yeah, plus she was pretty late in the show, and she didn't get as much time for voting with the live voting.
But yeah, all I can say is my team is in shambles. I know I say that like every week, but This got bad this week. We were riding high, and then we took a hard stumble this week. But I still love the
You got a
episode.
perfect score?
Yes. It's at this point it's JoJo or bust. It's either JoJo or I'm watching the Goofy movie. But you know, this is how the Dancing with the Stars, the drafts go. You gotta, the highs are highs, the lows are pretty low. We've only known lows on my team so far. But maybe this week. Oh, she's gotta get that.
Maybe.
The thing. But yeah, any kind of notes? I hear there might have been some information about Tyra Banks, anything about like kind of the week in general.
I have my mug because there's tea. So for most of you who've been following the show, you know that ratings have been in a free fall since the beginning of the season. This premiere down over 30% from last season, and they're continuing to decline every week. There are
last
several
season was
reasons for that.
bad.
It's not all Tyra's fault. The cast isn't very interesting. The Voice has Ariana Grande this year, so they're really killing in ratings. But I've also heard some reports that Tyra Banks is being rather disrespectful to the crew. She's being like relentless with her diva demands. And if she continues that, like homegirl hopefully is going to be fired.
But isn't that what divas are supposed to do? Isn't that like literally the term? They're kind of, you know.
Yes, but they're only really worth it if they rack in like the views, and the ratings are falling. So clearly Tyra Banks is not helping ratings any. I don't think she's, I wanted to say she was hurting them, but last season's ratings were much better. This year they suck. So
what do you think is the reason for that? Like what's kind of causing that?
The drop in ratings?
Yeah.
A lot of it is the cast. This is not
I gotta agree. That's what I was thinking.
Cast.
There's no big names here. Like usually if I was to like, I don't know, going into this season, I think I knew one or two people.
Yeah.
And that was it. So like, I don't really kind of know what the draw is. Like it's either the fans, like the names are how you get the casual team. And since there is none, you just kind of do what you can.
Yeah, and also like The Voice has Ariana Grande this season, and that's been like pulling in a lot of views for them. Their ratings are up for The Voice. And they're on at the same time, so it's direct competition.
All right. Well, you want to get into the deep dive? You want to start talking about the contestants?
Let's do it.
All right. Let me first casually get up my notes. I get it, but I also had a lot of fun, like surprisingly. So let's talk first. Who do we have up? We have
Olivia, Summer Nights.
Olivia and Val. Are you a fan of any of the Grease music?
Some of it. This song doesn't annoy me that much. The thing I don't like about Grease is it just doesn't make sense to me.
It's not supposed to. It's a story. It's like a story of an era. You know, it's like a glimpse into a different time. Yeah, so,
but like, why does Sandy have to completely change her image for Danny to like her? That's just dumb.
I know the moral is kind of like messed up. When you really kind of take a step back and look at it like critically, there's a lot of harsh things about the show and like a lot of, just shaming people. I kind of felt so. Yeah. But anyway, for the performance itself, probably Olivia's best. Which the fact that it got her in the bottom two, I think is also really even worse.
Now, maybe this is just because I was annoyed it was Grease night or I was doing too much because I was trying to watch a baseball game and do work at the same time. But at one point, I found myself paying more attention to the background dancers than them, which is not a good thing.
I did that a couple of times this episode, I got to say. You're totally right there.
Yeah, I'm easily distracted too. But no, it was a good dance. Foxtrot is probably my least favorite dance on the show.
Yeah, me too. No, that and
judges loved it, but she was in the bottom two, so I think The fact that I think she is turning off more people than she is pulling in.
And it's just going to get worse after this week. I think this is
I agree.
you could not have written a more worse story for her. Kind of
Yeah. And also, well, not next week, but the last 2 weeks before the finale are both double eliminations. So she's in the bottom 3 on one of those weeks. Bye.
How many more weeks do we have until the finale?
All right, so we have Horror Night, Queen Night, Fashion Night with a double, the semifinals with another double, and then the finals. We have 5 weeks left.
All right, let's see if
So we're halfway through the competition.
Last year I was shut out completely, so
I don't think that's gonna happen.
But yeah, let's move on. We got up next Melora and Artem. What'd you think? This was Sandy, right? This song?
No, they did Look at Me, I'm Sandra Day.
Oh, right.
Honestly, I was not expecting a bad girl Viennese waltz. I feel like when I think of Viennese waltzes, I think of, smooth and elegance and the Disney princesses. She actually pulled off the character and the refinement of the Viennese waltz really nicely. So I was ready to give up on her, but I think she's in for the long haul. I think I can see her in the finale.
This is a really mean song, by the way. Like, just
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're making fun of Sandy for having a good girl outer.
Yeah, like, and
good girl too. Don't make fun of me for that.
Well, that's kind of the time.
Contrary to what my Twitter suggests, I'm a good person.
But yeah, straight 9s across the board. This was another good week. She came into this week. She's both leaving and entering the week the same. I feel kind of untouched. Still kind of top of the leaderboard. I would say top 4 in general.
Yeah.
I just don't want her to win, just because she's not on my draft. And I
don't think she will win, but I will not be upset if she does.
All right. Well, let's move on. We got Iman and Daniela, and I gotta start off right away. How did they avoid the bottom 2 this week?
He pulled out his wife.
I don't know, man. I still think he's next week or 2. I think him, The Miz, and Kenya are the most in danger. And
they should be.
They should be, and none of them were in the bottom 3. So bottom 2.
I mean, Kenya's been there twice already.
But she did have a good night. But Iman, this was below what it kind of needed to be. It was 7s across the board. I thought, like, going in, I thought he was going to be in trouble and maybe going home. But how much longer do you think he can last? Like, what's your prediction here?
I think he might survive next week. If he survives both the next 2 weeks, one of the doubles, he's gone. I mean, he's not going to make the semifinals for sure.
Like, good for him for still making it. I mean, pretty big accomplishment.
Honestly, I mean, this was the lowest scoring dance of the night. The judges didn't like it. He was crouching quite a bit, so like he doesn't really need to like shrink himself down to Daniela. Like, I get that he's like a foot taller than her, but like you still like, because you look weak. You look like scared when you're crouched down like that. You don't look like a leading man. And his feet were really sloppy too. So I think his days are very much numbered here.
All right. Well, let's talk about The Miz and Whitney doing my favorite dancing category, dancing type.
Grace, let me go, Grace, let me
no, not those. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of hip action going on here. And what did you think?
He also pulled out his wife. So good for him. Judges are supposed to be clean and sharp, and this was just wild and kind of messy. It was fun. I think the judges pointed out that that adrenaline got the better of him. They're absolutely right.
Yeah, this was another situation though where I was also kind of like my eyes were going to the background dancers because they were really good, Grace. Like,
well, yeah,
they were just
yeah,
and but honestly, The Miz is another person I think the juice is starting to run out of the tank. I feel right. Like,
I think it's going to. Like, I loved him on Britney Week. I have not liked anything else he's done.
Yeah, it's just kind of he's just a middling contestant. Like he's in the middle.
I can see him
Well,
actually pulling something out on Halloween week.
all right. Do we have the set list for Halloween week?
No.
All right. Well, let's move on to my personal favorite song of Grease Week, performed by the actual Frankie Avalon, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, the dude's in his 80s and he can still sing. Go ahead.
Yeah, and he's doing Beauty School Dropout. What did you think about the song and the performance?
At first, like, and this happens a lot when they bring like guest singers on. I get distracted by the guest singer and I don't pay attention to the dance.
Yeah, it was the performance was also much longer, which was, but it didn't seem like it cut
Yeah,
any
'cause it
time from
started
the
off with
actual
them singing
dance.
for a while.
Yeah, so but it doesn't seem like it was still the same length.
Yeah. She looked really nice. I kind of forgot about it by the end of the show, but she was 1 point shy of a perfect score. So, yay.
Yeah, I'm like, she's really good. Like
She is.
she could win. And
I don't think she
I
will,
hope,
but I won't be. I won't complain if she does. She's been solid. Even if she weren't on my team, like she's been really solid. She's been like top of the pack or close to it every week.
yeah, and this was again though. Also, I was distracted by background dancers, even though
I was
I like
distracted by
this.
Slinky Avalon, and he was just standing there. So
He was just
what does that
doing
tell you
his
about
thing,
me?
and he was doing it good. Um,
Yeah, pretty good for an
yeah,
80-something-year-old man.
and just 1 point away from the 10. Why didn't Derek give her the 10?
I don't know. Like he was making his comments, and like they were heading towards a perfect score, and then he said something about a mistake, and I'm just like, and the judges were just like, or maybe she didn't get a 10 because they don't want her to win.
Maybe, but let's talk about Suni Lee, who is I don't know what to make of her. Like I don't know if she can win. They're doing
I don't
Born
think
to
she
Hand
can.
Jive, and
Born to Hand Jive, but it was a Charleston, and she was playing a character named Cha Cha.
yeah, it was kind of weird. Just what did you think of the performance though?
I was really nervous when I found out she was doing a Charleston, because they're really fast, and you have to have a lot of energy. Which, like, I remember, like, well, last year Sasha's Charleston with Justina was Disney Week, so that was weird, and it was not their finest moment. She kept up really nicely. She's getting more confident on stage, and she's continuing to grow. She also got to do a backflip, which was good for her. But like, she can't do that in every dance, and she hasn't. But thankfully, because Sasha knows better.
It's
But
also kind of highlights the unfairness of some of the show. Like, not everyone can do that, and you know,
you got to use what you have, though.
but that's not. I feel like as much as I might enjoy this show, you got to accept that it isn't fair. Like, this is not a fair show where everyone kind of has a fair
Right.
say in the.
I'm
You
still
are
waiting
very-
for the Suni Contemporary because she's gonna knock everybody out.
But yeah, only straight nines this week. I was confused. How did they make? Well, I was gonna say a stupid thing. I was like gonna say, how did they make the stage into a basketball court? And I was like, lights. And
Yeah.
that was the answer. But so cool. Next up, Jimmy Allen and Emma doing. This was Mandy. No, Sandy.
Sandy.
It's a different song.
Who's
It's a lot of. It's a song by Barry Manilow.
Yeah, that I know. But there's no Mandy in the movie. Anyway,
I got confused, Grace.
Jimmy, his wife, just had their baby, so congrats to them.
Yes, it was adorable.
Yeah. So the judges pointed out that there was a slip, which I didn't even notice, but
I didn't notice
they
either.
waxed that floor right before the show. Like,
That's not fair, though.
Well, they do that. Excuse me. Bless you. Excuse me.
Bless.
I just sneezed. But yeah. Yeah. And it's a wood floor that's probably freshly waxed. There was nothing terrible about it, but I don't know. I was bored.
Yeah, I was looking. I'm rewatching it now, just kind of looking for a slip. I don't see it. But yeah, he's also another contestant. He got 2 8s and 2 9s. So he also, I think, is going to be in trouble in the coming weeks.
Not if he keeps pulling out the wife and baby.
All right. Well, let's keep it going, shall we? Kenya and Brandon. I feel like we went like in a straight line of all the kind of in trouble contestants, I feel, except for Suni. But
yeah.
Kenya doing there are worse things I can do.
There are worse things I could do. Yeah.
Do you like this song?
This song I don't hate as much. This was the best that we've seen Kenya so far. She looked really
by
good.
far.
She embraced the dance.
I thought this had saved her. Like when they were going through the results, I was like, I think it's going to be probably Iman and the Miz and one of them going home. But
yeah, I thought, like, I kind of figured she might have been DOA going into this week, but she was the first one declared safe, and she should have survived this week. So good for her.
That order is in no particular order, though, right?
Yeah, it is, but she was the first one declared safe. So
well, that's just because, like, for the, maybe some people expected her to go.
Yeah,
but yeah, good for her.
Get that out of the way quickly. We know how these shows work.
Still, though, I think next week, I think she could be in trouble, though.
Definitely. And if she's in the bottom two again, I don't see her surviving.
Well, you know who I do see surviving next week? It's JoJo Siwa and Jenna doing a Foxtrot too. Look at me, I'm Sandra D. And the reprise. I think she's gonna win. She got all straight tens the first It's so funny. My team is like falling apart, but there's like it's like a car. Have you ever seen like in a cartoon you have a car that like crashes but it keeps going? Like parts fly off until it's like left with one little person like behind the wheel. Like that's my team, but it's JoJo behind the wheel. Like everyone else has fallen off, and she's like still.
Oh sure,
like,
I don't know who's younger between her and Suni, but like let the youngest person on your team drive. That's responsible.
You know what I mean? It was a metaphor, Grace.
I was gonna say, I know, and your metaphors make no sense, but yeah,
that one made sense.
Yeah, I love JoJo and Jenna's partnership. I really like it a lot. And this is the type of dance I was waiting to see from JoJo, to see her a little bit more refined. Her lines were gorgeous. She looked really, really good. But the first perfect score means she is not winning.
Why do you say that? Didn't Bindi and Derek get the first on their season?
I don't think so. It hasn't happened in a long time, though. Usually the first perfect score doesn't win, or the first 10, which means Melora's not winning either.
I'm surprised this wasn't what's it called? A contemporary. No contemporaries.
Yeah. I mean, look at me. I'm Sandra D. The original is in 3, so that's why they did Waltz for it. This one, like, they have to do Foxtrots at some point. JoJo's going to have to get a contemporary. I'm guessing it'll probably be either next week or Queen Night, where she can show, like, more personality and not have to do, like, a princess number, because I think they keep wanting JoJo to do what she's good at. But this week was, like, the unexpected moment, and it worked out in her favor.
What's a good Queen song to do contemporary?
I'm thinking like the beginning of Bohemian Rhapsody, but they have to kick it in at some point. Bohemian Rhapsody,
you can't.
Bohemian Rhapsody part. But like Bohemian Rhapsody is like 3 songs in one, so it's really weird. Somebody's gonna do it.
Life? No, that doesn't really work.
We Are the Champions is gonna be Viennese Waltz, but yeah, Queen Night's in 2 weeks, so we'll talk about that later. And I'm pretty sure it is going to be the band, because ABC is also doing a Queen family sing-along that same week.
Family sing-along?
For Queen music.
I don't always get like the family impression like for Queens. Like for the band. Like it doesn't scream kind of like, I don't know, the music's kind of like more edgy.
I guess they ran out of Disney and Christmas music. Or they need something to hold them over until then.
Yeah. I don't know. But I think JoJo's going to win, and I think I'm going to win the draft.
She's a lock in finale, but I don't think she can win.
You don't think she can win?
I think she's too young for the fan base of the show.
All right. Well, let's talk
about someone who definitely can't win. She's out.
Have they ever done a Dancing with the Stars like a wild card round, like where they bring someone back? Never.
No, they did an all-star season several years ago, but that was it.
When they did an all-star season, did the all-stars get paired with the original
Some of them did, not everybody.
All right. But yeah, they're doing a quick step to the one that I want.
Ironically, so ironic, because clearly they're not the one that we want.
Wow. Another situation where the background dancers, they were too good, Grace.
Well, that's the thing with this song. Like, this song is probably the most iconic song in Greece. It's the most well-known. A lot of people, though, a lot of people forgot that she was there. And I mean, she broke down in rehearsal. That's usually the kiss of death.
But she was still good. Like, this was not a bad performance. It wasn't
It
even like the bottom 5.
No, her feet could have been a lot cleaner, though. I didn't think she'd be in any danger, but I mean,
she was in
the girl had
4th for the night.
Semi-final finale prospects, and she can't even make 10th place. Like,
yikes.
I don't want to say, like, a lot of people are blaming Gleb. A lot of people are blaming the judges, which, I mean, they should. But
what more could she have done?
I don't know, but we were also, the judges were torn, but had to choose between 2 people that neither of them deserve to be in the bottom 2.
Who would you have picked between the bottom 2?
I would have saved Melanie because I think she has more potential going forward. I think Olivia has, I think Melanie had a better chance of winning than Olivia does.
If I had to pick between these two, I would have had to go with Mel because just the optics of if I had saved Olivia, because if you save Olivia, I think what's going to happen is going to happen. I think she's now going to get all the blowback for the elimination. Everything is going to go on her, which is just, it's just so ironic. Like, considering
remember when Stefano Langoni was blamed personally for Pia Toscano's elimination, even though all he did was stand next to her?
But this is almost worse because she already came into the season with that like title, like, you know, taking someone else's spot.
She came in here with a target on her back because of the controversy. Like, she is
this
season's controversy.
I thought she was like slowly fading into the back, like she was getting away from it, like it was gonna. But now they like, bam! It's like she's in trouble. But I also think if she can survive one more week, I think people will start to forget. I mean, there are other people primed to be picked off. She's just got to.
There are at least 3 or 4 people that deserve to go home before she does. But I think those double eliminations are calling for her. Hey, Eric.
And Eric has made an appearance.
Just in time to talk about Cody.
Yeah, if he wants to jump on. I don't know if he actually watched the performance.
But yeah, Melanie got all 9s. She went home. I'm sad.
Yeah, closing out the night, though, we got Cody Rigsby back in person. I mean, this was 2 weeks already, but, you know, doing a quick step. We go together.
Yes.
And, man, it's
I was in his car. Don't mess with and drive, Eric.
It's Cody is starting to crumble, I think, a little bit. I think the cracks are showing. And
his feet left a lot to be desired. He brought out a lot of energy. I kind of thought that Len was going to bitch at them for breaking hold several times. The rules of quick step is once you're in hold, you have to stay there until the end, and they did not.
So they got.
But maybe Len's just getting less grumpy. I don't think he's going to be there too much longer. But I mean, I love the fact that they mentioned he's a theater kid because that was good. Because I was a theater.
He's also a Peloton person.
Yeah, but apparently he can't sing. Although John Travolta can't sing either, so clearly that doesn't matter to people.
Yeah. Where do you kind of like in your perfect like scenario? Eric is congratulating me. We don't even know. JoJo might not win.
He lost his number 2 pick this week.
Yeah. Oh, who was your number 2 pick?
Melora.
Yeah, I lost. Who was my 3rd? Was it Olivia? Did I pick Olivia 3rd?
I think it was Cody.
Yeah, it was Cody, and then I think Olivia was 4th. But yeah, Cody I think is going to be in trouble soon. But in your opinion, like, what is the ideal elimination order? Like, if you had to pick it.
It kind of depends on the night. I would say the next 4 eliminated should be Iman, The Miz, Cody, and Kenya. And that leaves a semifinal of JoJo. Jimmy, I think, might make the semifinal. He should not be in the final. I think at this point, the final 4 is going to be Melora, Amanda, Suni, and JoJo. All girls?
All girls.
No. They can't have
one of them has got. I think it's going to be maybe Jimmy who gets in there.
I was going to say, if one of the guys sneaks into the final, it'll probably end up being Jimmy. And he is better than the other 3 guys, so I guess I won't complain about that. But I think
personally, I think
it's a girls' year, no doubt.
Yeah, I think going out in any order is Iman, The Miz, Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Like in any order, and then it's going to go Jimmy, Cody, Suni, Melora, and then the top 2 of Amanda and JoJo.
You forgot Olivia. That's fine.
Well, I'm hoping the viewers can forget her for 1 week so she can kind of skate by, because she is on my draft. But yeah, next week is Halloween night. Are you excited for Halloween?
Yeah, I'm not a Halloween lover, but they're actually branding it as horror night. So, because like last year we did all villains. There were rumors of a Derek Huff featured group number at the beginning, which would be awesome. But no, Mojo put out a list of the top 10 Halloween and villain night dances recently, and like it got me really excited because like, as much as I don't like Halloween, the production is always really cool. I love the costumes, like the creepy covers of songs. Like they mentioned last season on that list was Justina's Carrie number. And they did like this really cool cover of Take Me to Church for it. And I was like, yes.
I liked when, I think it was Halloween night, when Frankie did the Every Breath You Take Stalker version.
That was on the list. That made the list.
I think that was, to this day, one of the best performances I've seen on the show. And it was just all... like the dancing wasn't the memorable part. It was just the song, the staging, the direction. It was just one of the best. Like seriously, to this day.
We also usually get team dances on Halloween night. Last year we didn't, for obvious reasons that I hope I don't have to explain. And this year it's going to be the same deal.
No dance, no groups.
No team dances. They're still going to do opening numbers, but they're not going to do teams.
All right. Well, that's kind of our week. Do you have anything you want to kind of discuss about the week in general? Kind of looking forward. Any hopes for Halloween week, or horror week, I guess as it's called?
I'm kind of hoping that like we don't get any colored contacts because they creep me out.
They do. Those are pretty creepy.
Especially when they're like non-human eye colors. They're just like absolutely
purple.
Not. Yeah, or like Milo Manheim, that was actually number 1 on the list. When he did Toxic, they were like white. I was like,
But yeah, so anything else kind of, or just hopes for the week or predictions? Who's going out next, Grace?
I don't know. It'll probably depend on who sucks the least, who sucks the most, or if any of the guys bring out their wives. Which I guess, I don't know, does Cody even have a wife?
All right. Well, anyway, I guess I will say that I'm Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox, and hiding from a certain book that is on my desk that needs to be read. And I have no other words to say than that. And Grace, where can we find you?
Okay, first off, Cody Rigsby has a boyfriend.
Got that one wrong.
I have the worst gaydar ever. So you can find me fine-tuning my gaydar. But no, you can find me reality2_Grace on Twitter, possibly recovering from my flu shot. Hopefully, though, in time for me to see Hamilton on Thursday.
In person.
If any of you have costume suggestions for us for horror night, please let us know.
I'm very bad at getting dressed up. I really need to step on my costume game. But yeah, I
I was
guess
gonna say I have the pink bandana and then I have a track jacket as a tribute to Melanie C.
She was robbed, Grace. Just
She was.
no other way around it. There's always one. All right. Until next time, guys. Grace, it was nice talking to you.
You too.
All right. Bye.